Actually, we have started with your multi-threading programming, and you have been learned what actually the definition of multi-threading, how actually the multi-threading can be used within your Java programming language, and you also seen how actually what is the life cycle of thread, and what is the use of a new thread, new state, running state, waiting state, or enable state, as well as terminated or dead state. Today we'll be going with the next statement that is called as thread priorities. How actually the priorities will be given to execute a particular threads within a Java programming language. Priority means comes first, goes out first. You can say like this. Comes first, goes out first. Like that way we're going to have. Every Java thread has a priority that helps the operating system determine the order in which threads are scheduled. Every Java thread has a priority. Priority means when it starts to execute and it is going to stop its execution. It will be in a form of orderly. How the order you are going to have? If Java threads ranges from minimum priority, that is a constant of value 1, up to maximum priority, that is constant value of 10. So every threads within a Java programming language will be given as a minimum priority 1 and maximum priority as max priority of 10. By default, every thread is given priority norm priority, that is nothing but a constant value of 5. So in between, if there are threads are executing, at that time one thread you can make as a minimum priority, another thread if you are going to have with maximum priority, another you can make it as a norm priority, that whichever the maximum priority will be there or minimum priority will be there, on their priority basis, on their execution basis, they will be executing at the time of executing or running the program. Okay, threads with higher priority are more important to a program and should be allocated processor time before lower priority threads. However, the thread priorities cannot guarantee the order in which threads executes and very much platform independent. What is going to say here? The higher priority will be given more importance than the lower priority because of the processor timing. And lastly, he will be telling that the thread priorities could not have any order, that it should be the maximum will be going with that one, because it depends upon the processors and depends upon the time of the processor, how they will be executing. It differs from one PC to the another PC. Okay, if one PC to the another PC it is going to differ, then you can define with that particular threads. Okay, so threads you will be having higher priority will be given more importance than comparing to the lower priorities. Okay, so for that sake, and another statement will be giving, it depends upon the system how the processor time will be given. On that particular process timing, the execution is going to be made. So for that sake, thread priorities will be very helpful for executing your more than one threads at a time. Okay, so creating a thread by implementing a runnable interface. There are two types of threads you can do, one using with thread, another one is runnable interface class, thread class as well as runnable interface. As already has said that there is two different ways you can make the creation of threads as well as interfaces. So firstly I'll be going with what, if your class is intended to be executed as the thread, then you can achieve this by implementing a runnable interface. Runnable interface is one of the part of executing your thread, which is already predefined statements will be there, just you're going to access them. How it can be done? By defining with this particular statement. First step, as a first step, you need to implement a run method provided by the runnable interface. This method provides an entry point for the thread, and you will put your complete business logic inside this thread by defining with like this way. How that can be? Public void run. If you are going to write, then ultimately whatever the information or code is present within that particular function will be executed without having any harm, without having any problem. And the second step, you are going to have instantiate a thread object using the constructor thread runnable object and the string value thread name. Wherever thread object instance of a class that implements the runnable interface, and thread name is the name given to the new thread. So it is going to say that what if you wanted to define that thread to be an interface and its name should be a string value, at that position you are going to execute with that statement. After then, within a run method, you are going to define a start function. Once a thread object is created using a runnable statement, you can start it by calling a start method which executes a call to a run method. Within this start will be calling the run method, and whatever the informations you have created or stored or written any code within that one, they will be executed without having any hindrance, any problem. That is nothing but called as what how actually the runnable interface can be used. You are going to have a simple example, you can execute that one and you can know about it. Okay, so what are you going to use here? Sorry, we'll be having with the statement called as class runnable demo implements runnable. Runnable demo will call a interface called as runnable. Private thread t. Private thread t means thread is a class name which is going to create an a statement or a keyword t as a information, means it is a private, means you are going to use within the function call. Within the function, you are not going to access anywhere outside the function. And you are going to have another one statement called as private string thread name. Then runnable demo, you are calling constructor. Through that constructor, what you are doing, you are going to access a name at the time of runtime, and you are going to define that name within that one, and you are going to display that one. Okay, so where actually this particular program starts here. So here it is, you are going to have public class thread test thread. Within the bracket, you are going to have public static void main of runnable demo r1 is equal to new runnable demo thread 1. So here runnable demo thread 1 will be sent once to the information. Once when you are going to have r1 is called, r1 dot starts r1 dot start will executes, and directly it calls this particular public void run as I shown in the previous statement. Firstly, it is going to create a thread t, then afterwards it is going to by writing a void run, then afterwards you are going to create object class object thread object or a string value for the constructor of the same class. Then you are going to use a run, and start will call whatever the start will be. Then this start will be calling your run statement. And what this run is going to do, it is going to come over here public static void main. First demo, it is going to go for it, and it is going to display here thread creating thread 1. You have passed that one, thread 1 is going to be there, and start function what it is going to come, and it goes here now system.out.println running thread name. Running thread name you are going to have, because here there are two statements. One is creating thread, it is displayed, and another one is you are going to have with starting thread also. Okay, you are going to have a starting thread, then you will be started with both the threads. Thread 1 thread 2 are called, then ultimately one by one you are going to execute according to the given set of information over here. That is how you are going to execute a runnable interface, and these are the different set of methods you are going to have. We will see now one by one. Public void start starts the thread in a separate path of execution, then invokes the run method on this thread object. Start means this is a particular method which is going to makes the thread to execute at the time of execution, and then it is going to invoke the run method to define the thread object at the time of execution. Then you are going to have a run method. This if this thread object was initiated using a thread, a separate runnable thread target, the run method is invoked at the runnable object. If separately we are defining a run without using any start method at the time of runnable interface, then you can go for run method. Next you are going to have the set name. Set name means defining a name for your executing thread. Set priority. Set priority means sorry, exactly I am going to say you will be having priorities from 1, 5 and 10. You can set by defining with set priority. Set daemon. Daemon means the particular thread is set to be dead thread. Denotes that this thread has been daemon thread, means it is not going to execute for any more of the time, we can say. Then public final void join long milliseconds. The current thread invokes this method on a second thread using the current thread to block until the second thread terminates or the specified number of milliseconds passes. Join means what? When one thread is executing and another thread is said to be waiting and the second thread will be executing. So at that position, until second thread completes its all execution of the statements within the time of running program, the first thread will be waiting. And then after completion of that one, it goes and executes itself. That is nothing but called as what? Join function. Interrupt. So means if there is any problem within thread, interruption will be there, and then it will be said to be blocked, means it will be in a form of waiting state. Then is alive. Is alive is a method which is used for defining whether the thread is alive or dead. It is going to be used for checking. When you are going to check the statement at the first time, that time it will be defining that the thread is alive. Okay, the thread is alive. But when it completes its all the execution and enters into the part, then ultimately what it is going to say, you are going to be defining with what? The thread has been dead. It will return. If it returns with false statement, it will be giving with the thread has not alive. Yield causes the currently running thread to yield to any other threads of the same priority that are waiting to be. Yielding means making the other thread to execute simultaneously once when the thread is ended and another thread is executing. That is called as yielding. Public static void sleep long milliseconds causes the currently running thread to block for at least the specified number of minutes. Means if there are more than one threads are there, at that position if I wanted to stop one thread to be at waiting stage, then you can define with the sleep method. One, what it is going to do, one thread will be set to be slept and other threads will be executing. We can call them as what? Sleeping method. Public static boolean holds lock object x returns true if the current thread holds the lock on the given object. Means holds lock means you are not making to execute that particular thread at the time of execution time. So we can call that one as holds lock. Okay. Current thread returns a reference to the currently running thread, which is the thread that invokes this thread. Means it will be defining that means you are executing with this particular thread itself. Okay. Dump stack. Dump stack means storing the running threads and making the stack trace of those all the things we will be going with using with the dump stack. So these are the different 13 functions you can use with Java thread class. So I will be ending here itself. Rest other things we shall discuss in next class. Thank you.